author and illustrator of Black History coloring books, available at blackhistorycoloringbooks.com. And here is our sister, A.J. Jones.
Peace, family. Welcome to the African Heritage Hour, where we resurrect the conscious Black mind. I am humbled and thankful to be a part of the Nat Turner Library Radio Network, and that's an extension of the Nat Turner Library that was founded by Elder H. Khalif Khalifa, along with his wife, Sister Rita Khalifa. Rest in power. The Nat Turner Library is a physical monument, family, to Nat Turner's life, and the Khalifas have been preserving his legacy for over 25 years, and on 123 acres in Southampton County, Virginia. The library is a reference resource library that houses books by Black authors that have written about Black life, history, and culture. And there's a bookstore within the library, and that bookstore has books that are for sale that are rare, out of print, and they even have current titles by Black authors from around the world. So you definitely want to make it your business to take a trip to the Nat Turner Library. It's an historic place. And family, annually, the Nat Turner legacy is celebrated on his birthland every August. And that's in honor of America's most successful slave revolt, which we know to be led by General Nat Turner. And that's on August 21st. So this year's annual event, family, it's going to be infused with the first ever Nat Turner Library Music and Arts Festival. Yeah, I'm so excited. We're going to have speakers like Dr. Umar Johnson, who is a regular on the land, and he's going to be on site Sunday, August 19th, along with jazz flutist, the spiritual soul sister. Her name is Sister Nefer Ra, and we also are going to have the Eternal Roots Band, who's out of the Norfolk Portsmouth area. On Sunday. Also, we're going to feature our own sister, Star Khalifa, who is going to be reciting some of her work, her poetry. So we give thanks for that. And it's 2 days, family. That's Sunday. There's so much more. There's 2 days of this. On Saturday, the 18th, we're going to feature a jazz artist. He's well-known around the world. His name is Brother Plunky Branch of Oneness. There's going to be Brother Omar Tyree, and we know him to be a New York Times bestselling author, and he's going to share his lyrical talent featuring one of his latest singles, family, and that single is called Black Panther. And I have to tell you, I saw Brother Omar Tyree. He performed the Black Panther track at the Black Men's Convention, and that was this past April in Washington, and the performance was right outside of the White House, like on the front lawn of the White House. So, family, what we're going to do next week, Brother Omar, he's going to resurrect that Black Panther energy once again, so on Nat Turner's birthland. So we don't want to miss that. And then we're going to have some performance poetry by Brother Khalil Houston. We've got a conscious young artist. His name is God Golden. We have also a brother who refers to himself as the conscious comedian, and that's Brother Kunta Kinte. Yes, Kunta Kinte, I did say that. So as you can see, that's going to be quite interesting. Also, we're going to have historical griot, Sister Sherry Bailey, and another griot, Brother Bobby Beverly, and they're going to be gracing us with some African ancestral dialogue. We're also going to have African drumming. There's going to be dance. We're going to have children doing oratory. There's going to be reenactment. So you really don't want to miss it. So I encourage you to get your tickets. And family, you know, we have to support the maintenance and preservation of Nat Turner's birthland. You know, that's so important. We have to preserve our own land. You know, we've got to control our own narratives, like Baba Khalifa is doing on this property. So I give thanks for, again, just the opportunity to be a part of the Nat Turner Library Radio Network and to be supportive of the upkeep and preservation of Nat Turner's legacy. So I give thanks for that. Brother Michael, are you there?
Yes, ma'am. Peace and blessings.
Peace, peace, peace. So we just wanted to vibe a little bit, family, about the upcoming Nat Turner Music Festival. We wanted to just talk about the importance of the family supporting. It's bigger than just this event. It's really about supporting the movement of preserving and keeping our own land in the ownership of us. So, that's really the message to Brother Michael.
Right, absolutely. Peace and blessings to the listeners of the African Heritage Hour. I'm Brother Michael Muhammad, the wizard behind the scenes, if you would, during the show here. And I've been brought forward to talk to you today briefly about the Nat Turner Library Music and Arts Festival. Thank you, Sister AJ, for allowing me some time to talk to the audience about this wonderful day forthcoming in the next week and a half, really. Brothers and sisters, let me tell you, Nat Turner and this day will forever live in the history of black people. We know the enemy wants to remove, Sister AJ, the enemy wants to remove Nat Turner from the history books, or at the very least, rewrite the history, of Nat Turner and Denmark Vesey and Gabriel Prosser and Harriet Tubman. They tried to soften up the tone, if you would, of our revolutionaries. And so Baba Khalifa, brothers and sisters, who's the founder of the Nat Turner Library itself, the Nat Turner Birthland Property Preservation, and, of course, the founder of the Nat Turner Library Radio Network, that I've been very fortunate and blessed to be allowed to be a part of as the producer of these shows. He's a man of action. And so I say that to say it's an honor, brothers and sisters, for us to talk about August 18th through the 19th. We're looking at 10 days, to be exact. 10 days from now. This is a weekend, as described, of cultural conscious music. Sister AJ, you have a list of some of those that have committed to being there. Just to get an idea, do you have that list with you at this moment of those that so far?
Do. Yes,
well,
we have.
Let's talk about that.
We have Sister Nephara, and she's a very soulful flutist, and she does jazz. Very spiritual sister. So she's going to be with us on Sunday. So we look forward to that. Yes, and then also we have Dr. Umar Johnson, who, as I said, annually comes to the land to speak and to pay homage to the ancestors. So he's planning to be there on Sunday. So we're definitely looking forward to always to building with Dr. Umar Johnson.
Absolutely.
We also have on Sunday, we're going to have the Eternal Roots Band, which is a African drumming consortio of several persons, and so we're looking forward to that. And they're out of, I think, the Hampton, Virginia area. Very soulful drummers. Then we also have griots. We have two griots, Sister Sherry Bailey, and she annually does a Juneteenth event in the Norfolk area. So she's very well in history. Mm-hmm.
Now, if I may interrupt, I'm one of those people that try to tell the audience that may not be familiar. You and I are familiar with the term griot, and brothers and sisters who may not be familiar, a griot, we have a common understanding of what a griot is, but these are usually elders, but not necessarily elders in African tradition. Most of us come from West Africa. Some of us come from Northern Africa or Central Africa in our heritage. And what a griot, brothers and sisters, is someone that tells a story. And they usually do it sometimes through poetry or music or just in spoken word, if you would. Mm-hmm. And the story is about the oral traditions of the African history, or in this case, it could be a family or a story of our struggle. The Mayafa, which we know is described as the African term for the great tragedy of the slave trade, the Atlantic slave trade, which we made us come to in North America. And so sometimes griots are very important. and they tell the story. It's passed on. And just so you understand, that's what the Nat Turner Music Fest is for, brothers and sisters, for those things. I just wanted to interrupt and say that. Continue on, Sister AJ.
Oh, no, that's fine. That's absolutely correct. Also, the other griot that will be featured will be Brother Bobby Beverly, and he's actually a previous guest on probably 2 or 3 shows ago with his book American History. So he's also a griot, and so we're looking forward to hearing Brother Bobby Beverly. We're also going to have these amazing young people who are going to do some African cultural dance routine, and the name is Blessing and Gunza. So these are 2 young ladies who are, they're straight A students, and they are like the top of, in the top 1 of their class. They're like the number 1 in each of their schools, and so they're very bright, sharp young women, and we're looking forward to an amazing presentation by them. And then we have a young man, Herbert Bullock. He is 11 years old, and he's going to do an oratory presentation on the life of Nat Turner. So
wow, that's good.
Yeah.
That's
so
good. That's good.
Yeah, because we definitely want to incorporate the children more into the legacy of Nat Turner. You know, a lot of us, we're older, we know the story inside out, but because his life lesson isn't being taught in the schools, it's up to us to, provide them with that information and let them do the oratory, let them do reenactments, allow them to be a part of the learning process. And just as I am creating a Black History coloring book on Nat Turner's life, I think that's another way that will keep his legacy alive with our young people. So, yeah.
Well, brothers and sisters, as Sister AJ is talking about that the youth being involved with the life and history of Nat Turner, I can't say enough the importance of, as we call him, Brother Khalifa and I, the chairman of the Nat Turner property, we always call Nat Turner Honorable, because honorable, and he was a minister, so we call him Honorable Minister Nat Turner. We say this because what he had done just in the spirit of revolution, this isn't about just killing Whitey. This is about freedom in the face of overwhelming odds. It was honorable for him to do that and sacrifice his life, knowing that the inspiration would be limited to just that area, but he still sacrificed our sister Harriet Tubman in that same spirit. They knew both that their lives could be sacrificed. So some may be thinking, why Nat Turner? Why not this person or that person? Well, the property was founded on this area, and Nat Turner has a history lesson that we all have to understand. Sister AJ, I was talking the other day with Sister Ya Sewenatua, I believe that's how you say her last name, from the Marcus Garvey Day movement, which is coming up, or I should say parade, which is coming up the day before the Nat Turner Music and Arts Festival. And she's bringing a couple of busloads of people down from New York down to the Nat Turner Library Music and Arts Festival. Brothers and sisters, And she does that annually, right? And she and I were talking about the history of Nat Turner, and I said, sister, a lot of people just know him as being a kill Whitey, crazy revolutionary. No, that wasn't what Minister Nat Turner was. Nat Turner was a very intelligent man who was able to read. Now, let me explain the significance of this, brothers and sisters that are listening. Nat Turner was able to read Shakespearean language, also known as Old English language, which was difficult even for that time period for Caucasians to read, of America. The white man of America was considered to be a very illiterate creature, if you would, compared to the other Europeans. That's why they were kicked out of Europe. So Nat Turner understood this and tried to explain what was in the scriptures. He was hired, if you would, to explain what was in the scriptures to the other slaves to make them better slaves. And brothers and sisters, just a brief history on Nat Turner. What made him flip from being a servant to the slave master to a killer of the slave masters, he realized that the scriptures of God, according to the King James Version of the Bible, was so precise in its understanding of revolution and standing up for what you believe that he decided that revolution, even to the point of death, was the only solution for the black man and woman of North America. He wasn't malnourished. He wasn't crazed with rage because something happened to him. He knew what he was doing. And so that's just a brief history, brothers and sisters, of our elder, our departed legend, if you would, a brother who is with the ancestors. And that is why I have chosen, Sister AJ, I have chosen to sit here and continue the legacy as best as I know of Nat Turner, because what's happening is he is in the line of the greats that we've had over the years. We've been fortunate to have greats like Marcus Garvey and Harriet Tubman and Denmark Vesey, Graybill Prosser, Noble Drew Ali, Honorable Elijah Muhammad, Honorable Ms. Luz Farrakhan, Malcolm X. We've had a lot of greats, but along with that is Nat Turner. And all you got to do is mention Nat Turner to some very intelligent white folk, Sister AJ. And you are our resident historian, and as you know, all you got to do is mention Nat Turner, and they start to get a little worried and concerned that you even heard of him. I don't know if you've ever, and that's just my little spiel, brothers and sisters, on the importance of Nat Turner Day. So if you don't know how to celebrate it, I'm going to advocate, brothers and sisters, before we go to our first commercial break in 2 minutes, I'm going to advocate that you hear what Sister AJ is talking about. This beautiful day coming up, Nat Turner Day, celebrated annually now, henceforth. We have some great people coming. We got the rappers coming. We got, was it $50, I believe, for the 2-day pass. Is that correct, Sister AJ?
That's correct, $50. That gets you admission both days into the festival, as well as a complimentary vegetarian lunch both days by Easy Light Sources. So I don't think you're going to find too many concerts that are going to give you a pass for $50 for both days and lunch.
Right.
Most festivals of this nature are, usually more than $50 just for one day. So we really wanted to make it affordable to the family, and we wanted to make it, so that we're able to come together in ways that we're still able to donate and participate. And for children 12 and under are absolutely free. For teenagers, we did a half price. So if you want both days, it's $25. If you're 13 to 19. Then what we decided to do was we decided to also offer the one-day pass. There may be a situation where people are, just traveling, on the way to and fro, and you're not able to stay overnight to do both nights. So for a one-day pass, it's only $30. And with that, you still get that lunch. And, again, teenagers, half price, so that's $15 with the free lunch. And children 12 and under, absolutely free. So, yeah.
Well, that's beautiful. Brothers and sisters that are listening, the information about the festival, because everyone, likes to see everything in writing. That's the American way. That's the Western way. But writing's fine. So on easylightsources.org, brothers and sisters, I posted to the Nat Turner Library Radio page. Of course, go to Facebook, type in the search box, Nat Turner Library Radio. This is the network that you're on, listening to the African Heritage Hour with A.J. Jones. And all the shows have their information on here. But our sister, daughter of Baba Khalifa, Sister Nadira, has all the information on the Nat Turner Arts and Music Festival. And it's basically as everything that Sister AJ has been talking about here. And you can click on with PayPal, Visa, MasterCard, AmeriExpress, and Discover is accepted. Make a donation to the Nat Turner Library. If I may, Sister AJ, before we head to the commercial break, brothers and sisters, there's an old saying that I once heard from an elder, Sister AJ, that is important. People put their money where they believe. And I didn't quite understand it at first until the elder told me. He said, look at the drunkard. He said, look at the drunkard. They believe in that alcohol as a solution to their problems. So what they do is they go to the liquor store and they find their solution, whether it be 100 proof, 120 proof, 90 proof, they find their solution. The drug addict, the weed smoker, they go find it, or the heroin addict, they believe in that solution to their problem. But so our solution shouldn't have to be those things that are killing us. This is the solution to this black unity and black love, which is what the Nat Turner Library Music and Art Festival is about. So put your money where you believe. If you're listening to this either live or days to come or weeks to come, put your money where you believe. And that is, if you can't make it to that weekend, just give us something. Give the Nat Turner family something. This is not for a brand new Benz or a brand new, Mercedes or something like that. This is for the event itself. Put your money where you say you believe. And Sister AJ, did you have any comments before we go to the commercial?
Well, I just wanted to say on that note that donations can be made in any amount. GoFundMe, Nat Turner Nat Turner Save the Land fundraiser on GoFundMe. So that's another way to donate. And again, any amount, because it all is going towards maintaining and preserving, this ancestral land. So yes, I just wanted to encourage outside, or you can go to Easy Light Sources and purchase a ticket. Even if you can't attend, purchase a ticket and donate it. So yes, family. So we look forward to your support.
Absolutely, absolutely. And brothers and sisters, Sister AJ, we're going to go to a quick commercial break and we shall return.
This is your brother here, Brother Michael Muhammad, executive producer of Nat Turner Library Radio, and your brother. That's Checkmate, The War for the Black Mind, Part 1, The Black Woman. Did you know that the black mind has been under attack since the creation of the Caucasian 6,600 years ago? Ever wonder the connection between a black hole and the power of black women? Did you know that there is a mathematical connection between black people and the blackness of the universe? Want to know the true purpose of the women's liberation movement in the 60s and the original one that was in the late 1800s? What is the Louisiana-Mississippi syndrome? Again, that's the Louisiana-Mississippi syndrome. All of this and more in Checkmate, The War for the Black Mind, Part 1, The Black Woman. This is my first book, and this will not be the last. Go to the website, bromichaelmuhammad.com. That's BROMICHAELMUHAMMAD.com. You can also go to Facebook and type in Checkmate, The War for the Black Mind, and call me direct if you would like to book any engagements or anything dealing with Checkmate, The War for the Black Mind. 678-906-6306. 678-906-6306. This is your brother, Michael Muhammad, in Nat Turner Library Radio.
FinalCall.com. FinalCall.com. One word, FinalCall.com. The award-winning website for the realest and most accurate black news available on the planet. FinalCall.com. Fair, reasonable, accurate, and inclusive. We are a unifying website. FinalCall.com. Go there today.
Peace and love, family. AJ Jones, author and illustrator of Black History Coloring Books.
Family, I've been drawing and researching history since I was 6 years old. As the daughter of a Black Panther, early on I was exposed to racial injustice and learned that our history was not accurately portrayed or even included in the standard textbooks. So I decided to harness that energy and created a collection of illustrated history books that honor the ancestors by building on knowledge of self. The mission of Black History Coloring Books is to eradicate cultural illiteracy by resurrecting those missing lessons that were somehow left out of the standard history books. This collection features books on Malcolm X, Emperor Selassie I, Mandela, Haiti, Dr. Sadie, Juneteenth, Marcus Garvey, and our latest edition, family, is the Black Panther Party for Self-Defense, Power to the People. Black History Coloring Books are not like typical coloring books. Each book is filled with lifelike illustrations, lots of historical research, first and fun facts, vintage photos, and family. They're for ages 8 to 88. They're collectible keepsakes for students, parents, grandparents, teachers, and history buffs. Black History in February? What? Over here, we declare every month is Black History Month because one month could never tell our story. Family, I invite you to add Black History Coloring Books to your home, office, or school reference library. For the price of lunch, you can have your own Black History Coloring Book, and I'll autograph it just for you. I invite you to visit my website, family, at blackhistorykoloringbooks.com. Support a Black author. Support Black businesses. But most importantly, family, increase your knowledge of self. AJ Jones, look forward to building with you. Peace and love.
This is your brother here, Michael Muhammad, executive producer of the Nat Turner Library Radio Network. Brothers and sisters, you have been listening to me speak for several years about a lot of subjects, and many of you know that I am a member of the Nation of Islam and a follower and student of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And, you know, I've read a lot of books about the Nation of Islam. Some are confusing, some are inaccurate. But let me tell you something about Khalifa Muhammad, the author. As you know, Khalifa Muhammad is my brother and friend, but he's also the writer of the groundbreaking book, which is called Frequently Asked Questions, Nation of Islam, Part 1. And, you know, there's a lot of questions out there that people ask. Is Farrakhan a hate teacher? Is the Nation of Islam an anti-Semitic group? Do you believe that the white man is the devil? They ask us. Who started the Nation of Islam? What does the Nation of Islam believe? And what does the Nation of Islam want? Well, we have these questions answered in the book, Frequently Asked Questions of the Nation of Islam, or Nation of Islam, Frequently Asked Questions, by Khalifa Muhammad, chairman of the Nat Turner Library radio show. He's also son of H. Khalifa, and an assistant student minister of the Nation of Islam under the guidance of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, with his time under Student Minister Abdul Sharif Muhammad of the Southern Region. Khalifa Muhammad has also served as a public school educator in New York and is familiar with all of the media slander that has been raining down on the black community by the enemies of truth about the Nation of Islam. So for once and for all, for many of you who think that there's some hidden agenda or we have something to hide, what I'd like you to do is to go right now to Amazon or KHA Books, that's KhaBooks.com or Amazon.com, type in there Khalifa Muhammad or type in Nation of Islam, Frequently Asked Questions, and purchase this book. It's only $10 for hard copy and $5. I'll say it again, $5 for the e-version. That's what I use a lot, and I also have the hard copy. Brothers and sisters, I suggest you do the same. This is your brother, Michael Muhammad, from Nat Turner Library Radio.
Peace, you guys. It's Nadira here from Easy Light Sources. And I just wanted to let you know that the Easy Light Sources Food Guide is now available for $10 on EasyLightSources.org. The Easy Light Sources Food Guide covers 18 fruits and vegetables commonly found in any grocery store. If you're looking for ways to feel better in your life and to raise your vibrations, one of the easiest ways to incorporate some light into your life is through the foods that you eat. If you're interested in going into a plant-based lifestyle, the food guide also has your back with a few essays in the back and a few recipes to help get you started. Once again, the Easy Light Sources food guide is now available. Purchase your copy today at easylightsources.org.
Nat Turner Library Radio.
Nat Turner Library Radio.
Nat Turner Library Radio. Welcome to the African Heritage Hour with Sister A.J. Jones, author and illustrator of Black History Coloring Books, available at blackhistorycoloringbooks.com. And here is our sister, A.J. Jones.
Welcome back, family. Welcome back. It's a pleasure for me to introduce my guest this evening. It's Brother Cambatta. Brother Cambatta, welcome to the show.
Peace,
welcome,
peace
Brother
to
Cambatta.
the kings and queens. Yes, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you loud and clear. You are the talk of the conscious community. Yes.
Oh yeah, yes. Thank you. I mean, it's all been a blessing, and you know, I'm blessed to be on the show, or blessed, I should say, if I want to use proper etymology. And definitely, I'm here. So yeah, I definitely want to talk and crack the code on what's going on.
Yes. Well, like I said, your music and your lyrics are the talk of the conscious world. You know, your work It's very innovative, and I see it as a combination of history, comedic knowledge, knowledge of self, the social concerns of the day, LSD. You kind of have it all mixed in together. So then you've got Black Magic, Holy Ghost. So where did it all start, brother? Tell me something about your childhood.
Well, I grew up in a particular situation, probably not too much different than a lot of brothers and sisters that grew up in the urban slate, but definitely grew up in New Haven, Connecticut, which is actually the landing site of the Amistad, if you guys are familiar with the story. And it's also the home base of Yale University, which is the college of a lot of the quote-unquote Illuminati, Skull and Bones, cults. Actually, George Bush was born there, too. So, that's where I was born, and my particular household was definitely latent and a victim of the crack epidemic. So, my house was a hot spot. And, most people call it a crack house, 3-story crack house. But there was a lot of love in the house. Beyond that, my grandfather, my mom, everybody was in African studies. So, we were the ones that were studying. We were the ones celebrating Kwanzaa. And then my grandma went to a Black Hebrew church. So, they were like a much older, less radical Israelites that studied out of the Old Testament. And so, I had base knowledge in Hebrew and biblical studies. And then the African knowledge came from, my grandfather. They all went to Africa, got rid of all of their, Western clothes. And, so my family, I grew up in a house full of dashikis and African drums and djembes and all that stuff. Yeah, and then I just naturally got into hip-hop, mostly because of the wittiness, the clever, the metaphorical simile aspect of it. Because my musical background, the music that was being played in my house was all soul music. So, Earth, Wind and Fire, a lot of like Erykah Badu, D'Angelo, Stevie Wonder, all the greats. So I knew the difference in musical value between really high-level soul music and hip-hop. I knew that they were not really comparative musically. However, intellectually, I realized really young that this is the most advanced form of music this world has ever seen. And because of what you can do with the wordplay, it was like a puzzle. It was like a game to me. And, because of my gifts, my predisposed, just, my gifts for my mind, it was an easy fit for me to explore, because I was into acting. I was into a lot of various things. My grandma kept me busy and out of the house. So it was easy for me to kind of transition to hip-hop, and the mechanics and the technical aspect of rhyming was what got me into it. Wasn't,
When did you start rhyming? At what age did you start?
I started like freestyle rhyming and playing around when I was around 10 years old, and then I got serious about writing raps, and I gave myself the name Cambatta at 15. So I would say, I started playing around with it when I was a young kid, 10 years old, and I started getting serious about it when I was 15, and I adopted the name Cambatta, which was originally derived from Africa Bambaataa, which was, of course, this is previous to all of the crazy allegations. But my uncle was a hip-hop dancer, and, he used to pop lock to Planet Rock, and these tracks were always in my mind. So I heard a song by Joel Santana, and it was I'm old school like Bambaataa, no man's hotter, and my name is Cameron. My name is Cam. So Cam rhymes with Bam. It was an easy association, and it kind of stuck. And, so that was kind of where it all started.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Sister AJ, may I ask a question or two to Brother Cambatta?
Absolutely. Feel free, brother.
Yeah, so Brother Cambatta, that's, very, very good. I think when I heard you talk about how you got into the industry, I always ask myself when I talk to some of these rappers, now I'm down in Atlanta, and I'm from New York originally, so I came up in the era with, Busta Rhymes, the Beat Nuts, Wu-Tang, Onyx, that whole late 80s, early 90s, mid-90s crew. And so the rap was a little different than, of course, in the early stages during the time of African Bambaataa, and it definitely was different then than what you see today. Every era of music always thinks that their music is best, but I think you would agree with me that there's no such thing as better. It's just like, what is the message? And the question I have, because on my show, I like to talk about the conspiracy thing, and so you are a conscious brother who came up conscious, and you rap conscious, so that's good. So my question that I'd like to ask you is, behind the scenes, when the record deals are being handed out, when the promotions for the music that's out there is being promoted, have you personally seen some of the stuff that I've heard about, like you got to do this and that in order to get put on, the little tricky things, the little things that you got to compromise yourself, the effeminate things that they want to feminize the black male, kind of stuff. Have you seen that personally in your time in the industry?
Well, I haven't. To be 100%, I've been operating independently. So, as far as my penetration, for lack of a better word, especially on this topic, so my experience with the industry hasn't been as deep as you would probably see with things like that. However, I have been in a lot of meetings with deal proposals. And it's very clear that we're at a time where it is strictly analytically, statistically based. Talent is no longer like even the slightest factor. Like, if you have great visuals or you have a great talent, you can gain attention. But then when they cross-evaluate your followers on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and Spotify, if those aren't in the millions, then you're not a considerable investment. No different than if you go to, I'm sure in the 1940s and the 1950s, to get a loan for a house was a lot easier. Just like in the early 90s, it was a lot easier to get a record deal if you showed any bit of talent because it was so rare. But nowadays, it is very, very hard to get money. I have heard stories, though. I have heard a lot of stories from people that I'm personally close with just wild parties, and this is kind of where you hear about a lot of the quote-unquote sexual initiation. I haven't met anybody that was a super genius in this. To me, it seems like this industry is ruled by people who are easily infected by spirits. So you're not like the music industry is not full of these evil geniuses, these tyrannical overlords that can think more than us. I just think because of the dynamics of music, what it does to the spirit, because it envelops such a trance state, the life, it's all post midnight, and I mean this is for everybody involved. The drugs, it's the only thing. This is rap and hip hop is the most sought after lifestyle because it's the only one that you can do drugs, eat bad, have sex anytime you want with whoever you want, and still get a paycheck at the end of the night. Athletes can't do this, actors can't do this, politicians, no other. So it is late and insane. That's all there is.
They could never. Yeah.
Right.
So, as far as hearing the stories of crazy sexual misconduct and wild, over-the-top homosexual acts, all of those stories that you hear generally based in truth, because you see it, like the artistic world, it's full of that kind of mindset. Like creation and sex are hand in hand, struggle and art are hand in hand. So when you look at struggle in art and then sex in art, you can basically put them together. A lot of these people have a very deep sexual trauma. A lot of basically everybody you meet in the industry has it. This is where they draw their talents from. This is what caused them to introvert and go this deep. A lot of it, my art is based in trauma. Everybody that I meet that is a high-level creative has wild trauma, whether it be violently or sexually. Usually those two. So you can imagine what's in there.
Well, you know, Brother Cambatta, you talking about the subject that on my show on Friday we're going to be dealing with has to do with the trauma of the black psyche. And I have a counselor that's going to be talking with the audience about this, so you're right on time. So I thank you for answering that because, you know, I talked to Professor Griff, you know, I interviewed him a couple years ago, and he and I talked off air and on air about this. He wrote the book, you know, the psychological covert war against hip-hop. And, you know, he talks about that. Then he followed it up with his second book called Symbology, which I got in my library right here. And he talks about all this subliminal sexual imagery that goes into things. And then we see the effeminization of black male and the non-existent of the black female in rap, except for one or two. And I always wanted to talk to the active artists like yourself who are in there because, you know, I've seen a couple interviews on different people's, you know, on YouTube, and they talk about what goes on behind the scenes and all the secrets. But I want to thank you, as I said off air, I want to thank you for, brother, keeping it positive, keeping it real, and instead of capitulating to the trends, you know, you're trying to give a message. You're trying to teach. And so, brothers and sisters, what I did is I got Cambatta's music on the Nat Turner Library Radio Network page. So all you got to do is type in Nat Turner Library Radio on Facebook. You got your Facebook page, which is just facebook.com/Cambatta Music, CAMBATTA Music. And Brother Cambatta's music is there. We also got your website, Brother Cambatta, that I saw, which is, you know, we put that on our page as well. You know, we don't just talk, you know, unity here. We actually live it, you know. So CambattaMusic.com, is that it? Is that right, brother?
Yes. CambattaMusic.com, that's the hub. You can find all the music, all the albums, all the singles there. And definitely grateful for you guys sharing your platform. And I mean, this is what we need. This is what people are complaining isn't there. They just don't acknowledge that it's already here, you know. And it's people like you guys that we need on a grander scale. And they may be there already. It's just that the powers that be don't shine light on positivity like that.
Yes. And Brother Cambatta, you were cited by Complex Magazine as having the top 10 album of the year. Tell us about that.
Yes, absolutely. Sorry, it's like, I don't know, somebody just got hit by a car outside.
Oh, wow.
Yes, as far as Complex Magazine, it's crazy. We sent a shout out to Black Magic, our brother Rich from Black Magic 3. He was the producer and the executive producer of the album Black Magic. And so we sent it over to one of the editors at Complex. And the crazy thing is, we sent it to him in November because we recorded the album and conceptualized it over 3 weeks at the end of November. So the list of album and single of the year that we were featured in was for 2017. So we sent it to him, and like literally, it affected him. And this is a Jewish man. This is a white man. And that album is basically all black energy. And he heard it, and he was instantly he put it to the top of his list, in time to make the Complex top 10. You know, which is wow, because that right now is the leading media site for hip hop, the Complex. They own like basically all the blogs. So it was very, very inspirational, very motivational to see that it can be seen on a very independent level, like no budget, no promo, no PR people. It's just, you know, when you really put your soul into something, it's seen.
Yes, and it happened so fast.
Yeah, you know, he literally heard it and immediately considered it one of the best projects. And then you see the next year, good music, everybody's following suit with the short EPs, you know, and, you know, it's definitely not a coincidence.
Yes.
Brother Cambatta, I have another question for you. Brothers and sisters, by the way, the song you heard earlier was from our brother Cambatta, Golden Child. That's off the album. The new mixtape from you is at Volume 1, I believe. Is that right, Brother Cambatta?
Yup, it's Cambatta Volume 1. It's based off of the Kabbalah, the ancient Hebrew mystic Kabbalah system, which is based off of a tree of knowledge. Basically a template, just like the chakra system, but a little deeper.
I was going to ask you about
versatile.
that. Because I'm looking at your album cover, and, I'm seeing the chakra system of the human body there. Now, is that what I'm looking at?
Yeah, basically, but it's based off of a 10 Sephiroth system or 10 circles or spheres system with the hidden 11th one called Daf in the center solar plexus area. But basically, it is a template that can overlay everything. You can overlay the human body and all of the spiritual, physical centers of it, as well as objects in nature and space, astrology, astronomy, geology, and also there was a physicist, a quantum physicist, that found it as basically the directions or the blueprints to the fabric of space and time. So it's latent in everything. They figured out a codex that is extremely versatile and that works for everything. It's like a grand theorem. So I based the album off of that, each aspect of it or principle.
So make sure I got you. What you're saying is the solar plexus of the whole algorithm of the human body's chakra system that you have in your cover is similar to the whole system of the universe's chakra system. Is that what you're saying?
Essentially, yes. It's,
gotcha.
If you take the 7 dynamics of the chakra system, you can find those same values or principles inside of the Kabbalah system. The 11th point that I was talking about, Daf, is a almost a metaphor for transition or death, and that is unseen on the chart. But I still highlight it on my album. And in my album, Cambatta, I don't go into the specific definition of each principle. I basically allowed each principle to motivate and inspire the lyrics on a more broad scale as far as the sound and the feeling I get from it, because it's very, very complex. As simple as it is, it's complex to really encapsulate the meaning of them in just one word. Like, for instance, Kether means crown, and crown can mean so many different things. So I just took that concept when I created Crown of Thorns, and still
got
made
you.
it versatile,
Well, brothers and sisters, this here, I put it on there on CambattaMusic.com. I put it on our Facebook page, Brother Cambatta. You got 12 tracks for $9.99. Volume 1, Cambatta Volume 1. This track that we played tonight is track number 4 off of this wonderful album. One of the tracks is titled, on track 9, Tears of Yaqub. Man, just the fact that you know who Yaqub is, man, tells me that, hey, this is an album that the conscious community need to buy. I'm curious. I'm going to get this as soon as I get off air, Babylonian Mordecai. Brother, you got some knowledge. Brothers and sisters now, this is go. You got a beautiful website, man. I like this. I wish more artists would do their independent thing instead of relying on the Jew, So I think,
because I wouldn't have as much creative freedom to talk about such insane theories if I had somebody who plugged their budget into me,
Right.
But yeah, like Tears of Yaqub. These are very deep. Like, hip-hop has yet to really explore the true nature. And, I'm talking about, I've studied everybody from Nas to Jay-Z to everybody you can name. They very, very surfacely skim over the true metaphysics of blackness.
Right.
You get some people like Jay Electronica and, Killer Priest, K Reno. There's people that go into really deep facets of lyricists, but then they lose the rhythmic part of it. So, and that's no disrespect to them. I love all these artists, and I'm not speaking on their style specifically. But there's something that you have to do with trimming the fat and being able to give people obscure thought that they're not directly referencing from a book. And that's what you're getting out of this music is unique, original theory that's based off of the deepest facets of black metaphysics and psychedelic exploration.
You know what I also like on your website? You got your videos right there, so they can go to YouTube, but you got your videos that you put up there, you know, along with your music. You got a great website.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, we try to give it all to them.
And Brother Cambatta, I think, yes, I was just about to say Brother Cambatta will be featured next weekend at the Nat Turner Library Music Festival. Yes, performance. So we thank you, Brother Cambatta, for accepting our invitation to come out and celebrate with us on Nat Turner Day. And this is our first ever Nat Turner Library Music Festival. So, you know, it's so important that, you know, we have representation from you know, the young people, from our youth and our conscious youth. And so we thank you for, you know, agreeing to be a part of that. So we look forward to your presence there.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you for considering me. I'm extremely honored. You know, it's always a great surprise. You know, because I know what it takes to ingest such lyricism and to hear the openness and the excitement about it is always amazing for me. So, you know, we're going to have a great time. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Absolutely. And once again, if you could just tell the family how they can reach out to you if they're interested in booking you or for your products or whatever information you'd like to give us, if you would mind sharing before we close out tonight.
Absolutely. You can find me immediately on Twitter or Instagram with at Cambatta Music, and Cambatta is spelled Cambatta Music, MUSIC. So at Cambatta Music is how you will find me on Twitter or Instagram, or if you go to YouTube, it's youtube.com/Cambatta, or you can just type that into Google or YouTube. And then my website is CambattaMusic.com. So basically Cambatta Music, everything. It's the next frontier, man. If you like lyrics, bars, rhymes, syllabics, metaphors, punches, wild, witty lines that's going to make you laugh and, you know, think at the same time, that's what we're trying to do here. We're trying to bring it back, bring the light back.
Yes, absolutely. Well, we're looking forward to it. Again, we thank you. I thank you for taking the time out to be with us this evening, to share, you know, your life, your history, what's going on in your world. We're looking forward to Black Magic, Holy Ghost, and whatever else you plan to share with us on next weekend. So we encourage the family to come out and meet Brother Cambatta, see him performing live, doing what he does. So we give thanks for you, Brother Cambatta. We wish you well.
Thank you so much. To the family, peace to everybody. Thank you so much.
Peace. Thanks for coming on again, brother. Peace.
Thank you, brother, man. I'd love to be on your show too, man. Let me know. We can
make it happen. I got your number, so I'll give you a call, and then, you know, we'll see what we can do.
All right, bet, man. Let's go. Peace.
All right, peace.
Yep.
Peace. Peace and love, family. A.J. Jones, author and illustrator of Black History coloring books. Family, I've been drawing and researching history since I was 6 years old. As the daughter of a Black Panther, early on, I was exposed to racial injustice and learned that our history was not accurately portrayed or even included in the standard textbooks. So I decided to harness that energy and created a collection of illustrated history books that honor the ancestors by building on knowledge of self. The mission of Black History coloring books is to eradicate cultural illiteracy by resurrecting those missing lessons that were somehow left out of the standard history books. This collection features books on Malcolm X, Emperor Selassie I, Mandela, Haiti, Dr. Sadie, Juneteenth,
Marcus Garvey, and our latest edition, family, is the Black Panther Party for Self-Defense, Power to the People. Black History coloring books are not like typical coloring books. Each book is filled with lifelike illustrations, lots of historical research, first and fun facts, vintage photos, and family. They're for ages 8 to 88. They're collectible keepsakes for students, parents, grandparents, teachers, and history buffs. Black History in February? What? Over here, we declare every month is Black History Month because one month could never tell our story. Family, I invite you to add Black History coloring books to your home, office, or school reference library. For the price of lunch, you can have your own Black History coloring book, and I'll autograph it just for you. I invite you to visit my website, family, at blackhistorykoloringbooks.com. Support a Black author. Support Black businesses. But most importantly, family, increase your knowledge of self. A.J. Jones, look forward to building with you. Peace and love.
Nat Turner, Library Radio.
Nat Turner, Library Radio.
Nat Turner, Library Radio.
And we're back, and here is our host, A.J. Jones.
Peace, family. Thank you again for joining us on this wonderful Wednesday for another episode of the African Heritage Hour. I just wanted to stress the importance of your support for the upcoming Nat Turner Library Music and Arts Festival that's going to be September 18th and 19th, directly on Nat Turner's birthland. And it's going to be an historic event. You don't want to miss it. And it's just most important, family, that you support. You know, we have to maintain and preserve our land, our ancestral lands. And we know that Nat Turner isn't necessarily the most popular person to some. However, we're telling our own narrative. So we are going to, take control of that. So we encourage you to go to EasyLightSources.com to get your tickets. You can go to GoFundMe, Nat Turner Save the Land fundraiser, just to make a donation at any amount. And so we look forward to that. I'd like to thank my special guest tonight, Brother Cambatta, who's going to be performing on next weekend, along with so many others. We've got Plunky Branch. We've got Sister Nephara. We have Dr. Umar Johnson, who makes his annual pilgrimage. We have the Eternal Roots Band. We've got children who are going to be orators talking about Nat Turner's life and legacy. We're going to have reenactments. We're going to have griots, and I could go on and on. So, family, it's just so important that you support. Get your tickets today. I look forward to seeing you there. Next week, family, we are going to have a roster of some of the performers who are going to be performing next weekend. And so we're going to have shout-outs, and we're going to just introduce the audience. So we look forward to it, family, and hope to see you there. Peace and love.